What's up, guys? Welcome to a hopefully concise episode. So I haven't made a video in quite a few weeks, actually, since we went to Scotland and came back and running more workshops. Between that and camera lady being sick, taking care of her, I just haven't had time to get out. But she's feeling better, and hopefully we got a lot of stuff coming up when we're back outside. But for now, I came up with this the other day after thinking about some things that people have said to me during workshops and stuff like that, just over the course of the last few years. There's a lot of things potentially that could hold anybody back from photography, of course, from getting better. But I have noticed a trend in these three things that I want to talk about just real quick and just hopefully elucidate that for you guys, just to bring it to the surface up here. And just so you know, the more you think about things, the hopefully the easier it is to get past them. So thing number one is settings. And I talk about this a lot, both on my workshops and in my videos and stuff like that. But it's just so important to really understand your camera in and out. And I know that that can be daunting, especially if you're a beginner, or even if you're not a beginner, but you're switching systems, or even just getting a new camera within your own system. If it's radically different from whatever it is you're using, that can really mess you up. And the best way to get around that is definitely by practicing. So, well, not just practicing, but, you know, use your resources. The internet is such a powerful thing. Like, for starters, most new cameras you buy, unless you buy something used or whatever, if you have a manual for it, then you can start there, of course, if you're old school and you like to, you know, just the camera manufacturers will put all of the things in their manuals. But even better than that, of course, as you're watching right now, is YouTube. So there's if you type in whatever camera you have and type in not review, but you know, settings or anything like that, chances are there's going to be someone out there who's gone through, who's made a very thorough, in-depth video on all the settings and features of your camera. It's becoming more and more common these days to find that. So I would highly recommend utilizing that. But with that, you know, that's not enough. You have to get out there and you have to create the muscle memory for yourself and your own camera. And your muscles have to, your automation has to get there for being able to switch between whatever mode or whatever settings and deal with different scenarios. If you shoot like me, if you shoot a lot of different types of things, like, you know, I shoot astro and wildlife and landscape and extreme sports and portraits, and I shoot everything. So I always have to be very cognizant of what I leave my camera in and what it needs to be, and where the buttons and dials and settings and everything that I need to change as fast as possible to deal with whatever environment I'm in. And I see this a lot in my workshops, people getting hung up on, they don't know where something is in their camera. And it's hard, you know, that makes it really frustrating if that's what's holding you back. Like, if you understand, you know, like what you need to do, but then you're being held back by not being able to find something in a menu, or not understanding that you have to click this button twice to get this, or move this thing over here, you know, all of that stuff. Settings are definitely holding you back if you fall into that category. And the two best things you can do are use the internet, use your manual, and then just go out there and practice. All right, tip number two, and this one I think throws a lot of people, especially more old school people who aren't used to having mirrorless or newer technology. And I don't mean to say old people, I just mean to say anyone who just isn't up to date or hasn't used mirrorless that much. ISO. I see this a lot. I see a lot of people getting hung up on being concerned about what their ISO is. I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers here, and I'm going to tell you, as a professional, I don't care. I don't care about ISO anymore, almost at all. And I know that's going to hit people the wrong way, and I know that people are going to give me crap for that, because people always give me crap for that on my videos, on my Instagram posts where I put whatever ISO that I'm using, on forums about me, whatever. And I understand that there's a time and a place for everything, and I understand that having a lower ISO is better for your dynamic range and your image quality, blah, blah. I don't care, okay? I'm so tired of ISO being like, it's holding people back. And I'm not saying that you should always shoot high ISOs, but I am saying that if you have a newer camera, like a mirrorless camera, and you know how to edit, and you know what denoising is, those two things should help you get over that fear of using higher ISOs, because they just don't matter anymore. I promise you, you will be much happier with yourself if you get the shot at a higher ISO than not get the shot at all. I promise you, you will be happier. When I shoot wildlife, I put it in auto ISO. I don't even think about it, and I get the shot that I need to get. You know, if it gets darker, my ISO is going up. If the sun goes away, you know, through a cloud, or if I'm in a dense forest or whatever, my ISO is going up. I don't care. I've found that caring hurts my photography, and it stresses me out, because if I'm always worried about, oh gosh, this image is going to look horrible, I'm going to miss the image. And I have, and I've seen a lot of other people miss it, or I've seen them underexposing, because underexposing is going to hurt you more than anything usually, because then you're going to have to bring it up in post, and most cameras, most images, they just don't like that. So it's much better to be properly exposed, and in some cases even overexposed, than it is to be underexposed because you're too afraid to raise your ISO. Now you can take that with a grain of salt, and you can call me stupid all day long and tell me that my images are crap or whatever to make yourself feel better, but it's just from my experience and from watching and helping others, I've been happier since I just, you know, let go of the ISO thing. And of course, like if I'm shooting landscape and I'm on a tripod or whatever, and I can, you know, shoot ISO 100 and don't care about my shutter speed, great. That's the perfect time to try to get the perfect image. But if I'm shooting landscape and I'm handheld and I'm just walking around and doing my thing or whatever, the ISO is going to be on automatic, and I'm not going to care. I mean, if you guys have seen any of my vlogs and my landscape stuff, you'll know that I almost never use a tripod. The only time I use a tripod is when I'm doing long exposures, you know, astro, time lapses, those kind of things. If I don't have to use tripod, I'm not going to use one. I'm going to go handheld. I find the freedom, for me, is just, it makes me happier. But that's just me, you know, maybe you don't want to shoot like me, and that's cool. I'm just throwing it out there that just don't be afraid of raising your ISO these days. And so that brings me to number 3. Number 3 is editing. I see so many people who, I get it, when you're a beginner, the thought of editing your photos sometimes doesn't even come up. Like it's not something we as humans intuitively think to do. When we take a picture, we don't immediately think, oh, I've got to go edit this. That's a learned cognizance. That's a learned way of thinking. And then if you do start thinking, oh, I should edit this, then what's next? Like, oh God, this is insane. Like there's all these programs and what do I have to do? There's all these steps, and I see all these people on YouTube with like 50 layers. I don't even know what a layer is. There's a lot. I get it. It's overwhelming. But the only way to make it not overwhelming is to educate yourself and to practice. Just like with the settings, it's the same deal. You go online, and I don't have courses to sell. I'm not trying to sell you anything. This video isn't sponsored, nothing like that. I do have a lot of videos on my channel that have editing through various things, and you know, that's cool, and I do that to help you guys, to show you. But you know, go find somebody who has courses, whether they're free or they're paid or whatever, you know. Go look up Nick Page or Aaron Babnick or Sean Bagshaw or any of those guys that, you know, Flern, oh my gosh, Aaron Nath, like from Flern. I learned a lot from Flern way back in the day, like 10 years ago, you know, from Photoshop and stuff. The point is, there's a lot of resources out there for you to learn how to edit and to get past that scary feeling. And the more that you edit, a lot of good things are going to happen. For one, it's going to be almost the best way possible to take your images to the next level. But for 2, it can also take them to the next level by making you aware. The better that you can edit and the more you know what you need to do in post, the more that helps you when you're shooting. Anytime I physically pick up a camera and I'm looking through the thing, I'm on site thinking right then and there about what am I gonna, how am I gonna edit this, and what are my editing skills? Am I gonna need to bracket this because I know that the dynamic range is too much? Or do I know I'm gonna be able to get away with this because I know how hard I can push my camera's images? All of those things go through my head. Am I gonna need to denoise this? Am I gonna need to focus stack this? All of those things, if you know how to do all those things, then you will think of them while you're shooting, and that will make you a better photographer in the field. And then that will also make your editing better, and it'll make you just more fluid all the way around. It's a circular thing here. So don't be afraid of editing, and if you are, then just look at it and say, okay, what program do I have? What program do I think I want to use if you don't have anything? And go look those programs up and go find some tutorials and watch them and see, does this look like something I think I can do? And then just start working on it. The more knowledge you can give yourself, the more education you can give yourself with all of this stuff, the better you're going to be all around in the field, post-processing, all of the works. It's all going to come together. Those are the three biggest things that I see holding people back. And those are three of the kind of trending things that I tend to work on with people when I'm teaching classes or workshops or helping beginners out, whatever. So hopefully that helps you. If you have any other things that you knew that were holding you back that maybe will help other people in the community, in the comments, leave those down below. We all love reading that kind of stuff. All right, so the end of the video here, I'll just do a quick little channel update for anyone still sticking around, anyone who cares. What's been going on? Well, I mean, I got back from Scotland, got sick, all that stuff. Taking care of camera lady, she got pretty sick. I haven't had much time for photos, but I did get one session that I got to go out and chase some storms and go out for a nice evening, just near my house, pretty close to me. So that was cool. It was very refreshing to not have to do anything, to be able to go out and not have to do anything. That's something that I think I need to do more, because I'm just starting to associate cameras with way too much work, and I still love it, obviously, but it is nice to go out every once in a while and not have any expectations, not have any goals, and not have to do any work. And that's what these images were. Nothing spectacular, but it was just a fun time out. What's coming up? Well, personally, my birthday's coming up here at the end of July, and it'll be 40, so I'll be 40. And my son wants to do something, he wants us to do something super fun because it's, the big 4-0. So we're going to go up to Colorado and take the weekend off and just go hit the river and do some tubing and maybe some mountain climbing and probably a lot of food eating. I'm probably not going to vlog anything for that trip. Like I said, I'm trying to move forward and create a little bit of work-life separation, which I haven't had in the last 10 years. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I do have a lot of videos actually that I'm getting ready to do, and then I'm excited. I have one more Scotland video that is the wildlife portion with the puffins and the Isle of May. I didn't do a great job of shooting the video. Well, camera lady did a great job of, what I wanted to get out of her for B-roll and all that. But as far as me shooting a traditional wildlife vlog out there, I didn't do that great of a job. So I am struggling a little bit with how I'm going to put that together and how I'm going to finish that video. But I am working on it. I do want to show it to you guys regardless. I've got some camping stuff that I want to get to. I'm just waiting on the weather. Monsoon season is kind of up and down here. I'm also, I always storm chase. You guys can find there's an entire storm photography playlist on my channel if you're into lightning and monsoons and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of just waiting around for good chase days too. I've got a couple of ideas for some videos that I want to do that are more about the journey and less about the photography, but still partly about the photography, of course. I want to try those. I've been a little scared to do it because I think people probably won't care, but I think I have to just get to that point to where I need to just try it for my sanity's sake and see if you guys like it, and just do it for me and just to see, So I've got a couple of videos maybe like that I want to do here in the next month or two. I've got a couple private workshops coming up the rest of this summer, but mostly I don't have anything big until the fall. I've got my fall workshops, and then I've got all the private workshops for Bosque and Central New Mexico for the Rio Grande stuff with the cranes, the snow geese. If you're into that kind of stuff, my December's filling up. I still got some November and some January spaces. You can check out all the workshop stuff down below. If you're interested in workshops and you want to know just like what's going on, and not just workshops, but just behind the scenes kind of stuff, I do have a newsletter. I always forget to plug it, but if you just go to my website, it'll pop up and you can just sign up for the newsletter there. Traditionally, I've tried to do 2 newsletters a month, but I've kind of failed at that the last month or month and a half or so because of all the traveling and everything else going on. But that'll keep you up to date with all the workshops and open availabilities, discounts, behind the scenes stuff, all that kind of thing. I'm ready for some cooler weather, that's for sure. I'm tired of all these triple digits and this monsoon season being so late and not really so far it's kind of deading out. So hopefully we'll get something good. If you made it this far, if you stuck around for all the personal stuff, I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you give me your time. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. That's definitely the best way you can help out the channel. You can check out the channel memberships if you want even more content, behind the scenes stuff that I don't share with the public, and plus actually extra editing stuff too. I have quite a few editing videos there for the channel members. It's just a few bucks a month, but man, that goes a long way to helping me out, especially when YouTube is so down and like it is during the summers. That kind of stuff really keeps me going. Last thing, 2 spots left on my big Scotland workshop next year. So next May, if you went in on that, it's going to be incredible. All-inclusive, resort-style, retreat, photography, epic puffins, landscapes, wildlife. See, it's amazing. I'm already excited to get back there. And there's 2 spots left on that one next May. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.